Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between Dice versus Foggy. This game taking place here on, well, Amazonia, as this has been a well-recommended game to me, and hopefully it does not disappoint. We are looking at Foggy spawning as the green night elf over here in the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we are looking Stranik, Dice, also known as Stranik, spawning over here in the bottom left. Yeah, I think I know him more as Stranik than Dice. I don't even know how D-I-S-E. Is that Dice or Dice? You know, all of those phonics rules, trying to figure them out. Well, having a bit of a problem trying to, say, pronounce words I've never seen before, especially if it's, following different languages, phonics rules. And even the other day, I was reading a book to my daughters. Like, it was actually yesterday. I was reading a book to my daughters out loud, and I said a word, and I smiled, and my wife looked at me. She's like, "I think that's the first time you've actually phonetically sounded out a word on the first try." And I was just like, "Yeah, I know." Yeah, apparently, well, my kid's father is not very good at doesn't speak English very well, or but better. But I guess that would mean I speak English very good then. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down. We are looking at true or a priestess of the moon coming in against a priestess of the moon in this night elf mirror match. Are we going to be looking at a lot of tier 1? That is going to be my question here, as the archer already purposely trying to pull back here. We are looking at a renegade wizard, and well, there's that lightning shield as well. Going to go ahead and detonate to remove it, as a Stranik no longer going to benefit from that extra bit of bonus damage. Coming back on the other side here, there is another lightning shield being cast down, and in comes that archer now to try and, well, deal damage to both the rogue and this renegade wizard. Archer purposely backing away here, switching targets, as the gloves of haste, well, gonna be picked up by that priestess of the moon. It looks as though, well, no searing arrows, no true shot aura picked up anywhere. A little bit of an interesting opening here, as the priestess of the moon finally goes for true shot aura on both sides. Coming back off to the north, Foggy eating through the trees, pretty much doing the same exact build, picks up gloves of haste and slippers of agility, perhaps the two best items. And we'll talk about a mirror match, both players getting the same exact items from the same creeps that they are trying to clear out. I wish players just stick to one name. Yeah, it would be easier if players just stuck to one name. Um, then again, well, see, this is a problem that didn't exist in originally, right? Like, back in the day, players and didn't need to stick to one name, and they could ladder kind of in secret if they wanted to on back in the day. I remember trying to queue up in WarCraft 3, and sometimes it would take a good like 25 minutes to find a game that I could actually join, just because of how high, or how the MMR system and the matchmaking system worked back then. That is no longer the case, as we're now looking at Stranik coming in from the other side and going to be able to perhaps get some damage onto that Priestess of the Moon. Priestess of the Moon is in trouble. Is it going to end up getting that final shot? No, I'm not quite sure who got that damage there, as the archer trying to get into harm's way here. Foggy now retreating back with that Priestess of the Moon does get a second slippers of agility, as this archer could end up getting taken down. There is the denial right there. Priestess of the Moon making their way back off to the north here. Foggy is already going into Huntresses. We should be looking at a similar build as well. Huntresses coming in from Stranik. All right, true mirror match coming across the board. Hero levels are very similar. The only difference now is a slippers of agility picked up by Foggy after clearing out a creep camp, but Foggy is actually losing in the experience race so far, as we're looking at a Murloc Tide Runner running back and forth, and well, looks like it will end up just getting finished off here. The attack animation right there, now leaving that Murloc Nightcrawler. Now, throughout the timing and throughout this game here, we're going to be looking at, well, double gloves of haste from this Priestess of the Moon compared to double Slippers of Agility. Who actually comes out ahead? That is, I guess, the question to be had here, as the True Shot, or well, no longer really, well, the glaive's no longer really bouncing in between those targets nearly as much. Priestess of the Moon wants to get to level 3. That's going to be a major power spike in the overall army, but it looks like Stranik is now coming in with a much larger, well, army here. 38 supply compared to 31. We are looking at a solo Ancient Protector. Are we perhaps going to be going into some repairs as well? And in comes the damage. Ancient Protector going to try to move off and change position. There's only one Priestess and 2 additional Huntresses going up against 5 Huntresses there, as the Ancient Protector repositions itself to try and offer a bit of protection. All right, we are looking at 3 Huntresses now in the center portion of the map. The Huntress count for Foggy is starting to creep up. 38 supply compared to 38 supply compared to 31 though, and there is still a slight discrepancy here as the Huntresses are trying to catch up and are starting to zone Foggy out of his base, which means that he is not going to have access to his own Moonwells. All right, Huntress now backing away here. Is going to try and buy a Staff of Teleportation, perhaps. No, where is it going? The Huntresses are looking for where that Priestess of the Moon is, and it is back off to the north. Meanwhile, one Alchemist here, alongside a couple of additional Huntresses, as we're looking at 37 supply compared to 36, a slight advantage for Foggy, as I believe, yes, there is there is another hero out in play with Acid Bomb, which, well, should give things in favor to Foggy here if the Acid Bomb does land properly. Ancients of War getting resituated. 41 supply over 40. How was it upside down on supply? I'm not quite sure. Maybe cancellation of a building coming in from Stranik here, as Stranik now goes into 44 over 50 supply, training up some additional Huntresses too. All right, this is Huntress Wars, where both players are just trying to get into the proper position, trying to make sure that they have the right engagement with their units so that they're not coming in a single file line. All right, a bit of a, well, stun onto Stranik's Priestess of the Moon, as the Priestess of the Moon now trying to back away again. Huntress is now continuing to back up here. There's more damage onto the Priestess of the Moon. It is trying to retreat back. Meanwhile, well, a little bit of just extra damage going to be sticking onto these units here, as that leading Huntress does need to retreat all the way back. There goes an Acid Bomb across multiple units again, as Syrian arrows coming in from the south. Stranik looking to get in some damage across multiple Huntresses with damage over time once more, but it doesn't look like Stranik is really going to be going for, well, there is that Priestess, or there is that Acid Bombing Alchemist as well coming in from Stranik. Meanwhile, we're looking at Foggy already picking up a Claws of Attack +5 and halfway to level 2 as well. Foggy not going to be able to finish off the high hit point Alchemist at 725 hit points, even at level 1. And, well, decent damage, or wide damage range, I should say, as that, well, Alchemist now looking to back up once more. Level 2 on Foggy's Alchemist. Level 1 here, no ability quite yet chosen. Not quite sure what that tome was, as the Priestess of the Moons are just playing a game of zoning again. All right. Now, I'm simply waiting for the next stage in this game. So far, both of these players are doing a good job just trying to minimize their damage, trying to keep their opponent in check, and not freely be able to play their game. If you're looking to how to get better at WarCraft 3, or, well, in any real-time strategy game for that matter, or any game in that matter, what you want to do is you want to be able to play your game while not allowing your opponent to truly play theirs. That's the strategy that we're trying to see from both of these players. Both of these players are trying to be able to play their own game while not allowing their opponent to play theirs nearly as much. Healing spray across the archers and the huntresses here. We're looking at some archers joining in on Foggy's army here. Meanwhile, it seems to be a mass huntress with only one archer coming in from the other side. coming back down to the south here. If Foggy can perhaps get in an additional creep or two, stealing experience from the opponent's southern side, that will actually be worth it. Rock Golem going to get taken down. Let's take a look at this. What items? One, a Mana Stealing going to get picked up, trying to healing spray up a little bit more. And now, well, maybe forced to try and get an engagement here. Huntress is going to try to line up in the front, get some damage onto some of these fleeing units. Acid Bomb now goes down here, and a little bit of bounce damage coming across the board. Level 3 on both of these units. True Shot Aura, however, Stranik being forced to retreat back here as we are looking at healing spray, teleporting all of those units back away. Goblin Zeppelin now picked up one remaining wisp right back there. Perhaps, well, Foggy should consider heading off to the north to try and clear out the North Creek camp. No, has ideas of Zeppelin play, but, well, it's already been spotted. Alchemist is a melee hero, but does attack air. I believe it is the only unit that really looks like that, as we're looking at, well, a quick wisp getting destroyed right there, and now we're going to be looking into a drop inside the main base. Wisp are already repositioning themselves. Huntresses are faster units, and I gotta believe that the Alchemist's True Shot Aura will be sold eventually, as we're looking at the Priestess of the Moon off on the far side here, looking to see what it can spot. And we are going into an expansion by Foggy. All right, archers trying to fight against that Priestess of the Moon. Priestess of the Moon does deal quite a bit of damage. Lower hit point archer should consider backing up. Meanwhile, back in the base of Stranik, Alchemist and Priestess of the Moon are just fighting their way through as well. All right, units are going to get picked back up and try to retreat, as Stranik able to heal. And this is just really two sides of the same coin, pretty much the same, this kind of yin and yang maneuver where, well, Foggy's going to go ahead and drop back down, trying to finish off a couple of those easy archers. Archer, however, able to back away, as well as we're looking at, well, damage getting, well, into that Zeppelin here. Zeppelin has to be rather careful, and it's going to try and back away, as it's down to 145 hit points, and one Hippogriff, just one bit of anti-air, one Ancient of Wind could have greatly changed the outcome of the game. If you see a Goblin Zeppelin, well, carrying, what is that, 1525 supply, and it could all be killed if a Zeppelin or if a Hippogriff just poked at it long enough. Coming back over here to the top right here, we are looking at Ancient Protectors trying to reposition themselves. Stranik is going to be knocking on the front door, and yet this game is just pacing really oddly here, as we're going to be looking at the archers now try to take down some of those huntresses. Ancient Protector moving a bit too slowly, going to finally root itself here. There goes Acid Bomb, as the Ancient Protector finally trying to fight its way through. That is a lot of Moonwell damage to try and heal up, as this one Ancient of War, where is it running off to? Seems to be just avoiding the battle, as it is turning into a really strange game here. Instead of trying to defend, we're looking at, well, Foggy doing a similar thing here, and oh, the Goblin Zeppelin actually got attacked and got taken down. This is dizziness, and that means that all of the Huntresses are moving extremely slowly. Coming back around here, we're looking at the units trying to back away, and this could have been a fight that Stranik could have easily taken, knowing that his opponent's units are all dizzy and not operating at full strength. Stranik had the advantage and really gave it up there. I believe if Stranik had to go back and look at that replay, he could have considered sticking around in that fight a bit longer. The Entangled Gold Mine showing about 9 minutes left, or 8 minutes left of mining. 60 supply compared to 47. Foggy does have, well, the economic advantage since he is not paying taxes. And, well, that is about it right now. 48 supply army going up against 38. Well, a Wisp gonna, nope, not even detonate in time as the units are retreating back. Tree of Life absorbing quite a bit more damage, and this is the perfect timing. Stranik may not realize that Foggy could end up losing this Tree of Life, or start suffering a bit of damage on this Tree of Life here. Healing spray coming back across. There's a Scroll of Healing, as Wisp are now being brought to the fight. Damage going to get added up. There goes another Acid Bomb, as Stranik has a decent amount. Oh, beautiful pickup, and a drop back down to try to avoid some. Actually, no, it actually landed again and then got. Nope, there it is. Wow, all right, beautiful micro coming in from Stranik to pick up and drop off low hit point units, as Stranik now gets the level 4 on that Priestess of the Moon, meaning level 2 searing arrows and more damage indeed. All right, Ancient of Wonders being built in the back by Stranik. More healing spray coming in from Foggy. 59 supply compared to 44. That additional expansion has not really done much of anything so far, as the Alchemist, well, used a Wand of Mana Stealing to throw off another Acid Bomb again. Archers are using, well, their superior range to get damage across all of those Huntresses readily and easily, as another Ancient of War going to get shot down again. All right, Ancient of War is trying to be rebuilt, and Foggy will need to try and hold the door here. No additional units can be trained for quite some time, as we're looking at that fight still getting underway. All right, Goblin Zeppelin picked up, dropped back down. We see a Tree of Life. It is fully rooted right there. There's some more detonation as well. Are we perhaps going to be getting in some healing? That Goblin Zeppelin pretty much, well, holding a sick bay of Huntresses right there, as it is going to go ahead and pick up and drop back down to, well, there it goes. Oh, that could be a problem. Acid Bomb could finish off multiple of those Huntresses, and that may be exactly what's happening here, trying to finish off another Huntress. There goes another one as well. Priestess of the Moon does have Orb of Venom. Thank you for the follow, as the Priestess of, or as the Alchemist, getting two Huntresses right there, and once more a dizzying Zeppelin destruction. Both sides fighting. 29 supply compared to 49. Stranik does have the larger army. Acid Bomb still falling down and still taking away. There's Staff of Preservation for the save once again, as that Ancient of Wonders taking a bit of damage here. Priestess of the Moon, well, looking to perhaps finish off some damage onto Foggy's Priestess of the Moon here. Foggy does have Orb of Venom. I don't believe Stranik has tier 3. No Orb of Venom either, as it's 2-0 upgrades compared to 2-2. All right, is Stranik gonna eventually start losing because he doesn't have the tech advantage? As well, Foggy did tech to tier 3 and also did set up an expansion. Meanwhile, we don't see an expansion from Stranik. I don't believe we see tier 3, and that is why he had the larger army. Equinox, thank you for stopping on by. All right, so Stranik, during this time, he has the larger army. He was pushing with about a 10 to 15 supply advantage. Meanwhile, Foggy had opted to try and go for an expansion and tech to tier 3. Goblin Zeppelin going to go ahead and pick up some units here. This could be a little bit of a strange scenario, as they're going to pick up and drop off on the other side of this Tree of Life, perhaps, as one Huntress getting left behind. We are looking at another Wand of Mana Stealing right here. Ancient of, or Tree of Life, going to have a little bit of problems. That Tree of Life trying to push on through. Wand of Mana Stealing finally picked up level 4 now on Foggy's Priestess of the Moon, as Acid Bomb comes to, well, rain down on all of these units again and again. Alchemist continuing to battle it here. A little bit of damage, well, a little bit of damage over time. There's Wand of Mana Stealing being used again, trying to healing spray up those units once more, as we're looking at a Staff of Preservation to save another unit again. Priestess of the Moon down to 215 hit points, still trying to retreat back, and we're looking at the Tree of Life, which could end up getting taken down here. No more, well, economic advantage, as Foggy is not going to be able to entangle this gold mine. Tree of Life is going to end up falling, as Stranik is still sitting at tier 2. Little off topic, does Orc player ever stops or skip barracks? Yeah, sometimes they skip barracks before tech. I have seen it before, and they generally go like double bestiary, and they also still go for that voodoo lounge with a heavy dose of harassment. Anyways, Stranik sitting at 50 over 60 supply compared to Foggy's. Well, Foggy's 40 over 50. Is the Orb of Venom going to carry enough weight in this battle, as the archers, with that 700 range, dealing so much damage? Healing spray being used back once more by Foggy, and this is a natural go wide strategy. There is only one Ancient of War in the back here, and how long can Foggy really hold off this attack? The advantage of tier 3, well, one Ancient of Wonders there. There is a Clarity Potion being used again. Priestess of the Moon going to try and get that damage, and finds the damage on the Alchemist, making Foggy waste that 70 gold for that extra bit of mana. Now, Orb of Venom, or a third hero, could be a third hero could play actually a big pivotal role here. There goes another Acid Bomb across multiple units, still adding in a damage again and again. Coming back down, Alchemist now making its way back over. How old are games? Yep, max 2 weeks. Combination of both. This was a tournament game. Yeah, this was a tournament game. Sometimes we get to see some ladder games as well. easy way to tell is if there is Fog of War. If Fog of War is removed, it is normally a ladder game either from W3 Champions or from NetEase. Coming back down, we are looking at the Priestess of the Moon and the Alchemist making its way down here. Tree of Life trying to be established by Stranik, but well, there should be a battle for this expansion here. If Stranik establishes this, he will maintain his his army size advantage as another acid bomb goes down onto all of those archers. Priestess of the Moon trying to retreat back. Huntresses, well, turning around, getting in quite a bit of damage with that glaive bounce. Archers could easily turn around, try to finish off a Huntress as well. What is going down here? Not quite sure, as a very low hit point Huntress ends up getting teleported back home at 1 hit point. Foggy being forced to retreat here, but it just looks like Stranik is continuing a strong game with strong pressure, outplaying Foggy, removing the expansion when he knows he needs to, and now he also knows that he doesn't need to pursue. He's the one now setting up an expansion, and now the fight will be brought to his base. He can be the one with the defender's advantage. Oh, is it going to matter, though? Goblin Sappers. Oh. Goblin Sapper play by Foggy, removing that Tree of Life in an instant. Stranik thought that, well, and that was 100% true. The fight was brought to him, and what an explosive fight it was. All right, good. Well, 100% strong decision making in that instance. Meanwhile, it looks like an Owl Scout from Foggy keeping track of the opponent, not level 2 searing arrows. Meanwhile, Stranik is just shy of True Shot or a level 3 on that Priestess of the Moon, but could actually get caught out in the middle of the battlefield. Nyan needs to make its way back down. Where is it going and running off to? Gets up to level 5. Not quite sure how it was able to get that experience, but now that it's at level 5, that is plus, well, 30% damage bonus for all ranged units, which pretty much means everyone except for the Alchemist. All right, coming into the battle here, a little bit of, well, is that Acid Bomb? No, I believe it was Acid Bomb. Yeah, Acid Bomb onto the Priestess of the Moon. You can see that the Priestess of the Moon was still taking damage over time while inside that Goblin Zeppelin. Those goblins really sapped the tree, yep. All right. We're still looking at 2 heroes here. Tree of Ages with Nature's Blessing already making the walk over. Foggy doing the same exact thing. Ancient Protector in position. And this mirror match is, well, turning into similar strategies, both north and south on the map of Amazonia. 39 supply army compared to 44. Pretty much neck and neck so far, and it's really the earlier opening by Foggy eating through this tree line that is going to give an advantage to Foggy to set up his expansion here. Foggy also bringing glaive throwers into the back, into position to try and protect against any engagement here, as the heroes are the only ones really venturing forth here. Not quite sure what to make of this, as the Priestess of the Moon now retreating back. And what's odd about this particular strategy so far from Foggy is he doesn't have a Staff of Preservation. So slight variations coming in from both sides. Staff of Preservation not going to be nearly as useful, as it doesn't bring you back to your moon wells to heal, but still, it is a way to save your hero and at least get them to stick around for a little while longer. Priestess of the Moon comes over, sees what it is trying to deal with. No Staff of Imba, yeah, no staff of Frustration, as I like to call it, as it's just absolutely frustrating for your opponent to try and focus down any unit. Coming down here, archers, huntresses are here, and I guess Staff of Frustration is only useful against the heroes at this point. You don't have any bears, you don't have any force supply units. Priestess of the Moon coming down here, perhaps going to get some damage across the board as the units are trying to turn back around, get a little bit of damage over time. Searing arrows adding in damage on that Alchemist. Alchemist with negative armor really taking quite a bit of damage here. Going to turn back around as the Priestess of the Moon, well, gets in some damage over time there. Oh, there is some more, an Owl Scout to reveal those huntresses who are trying to shadow melt and hide away from that Priestess of the Moon. How is this game coming to an end? Uh, I I still don't know. Foggy has been doing a good job holding off these attacks the entire time, but he is still a little bit behind. 2-2 upgrades compared to 3-0 upgrades, but True Shot Aura level 3 for Stranik compared to level 2 until Foggy gets to level 3 on that Priestess of the Moon. Oh, it was that a... Oh, no, not an acid... It looked like an acid bomb dodge for just a second. All right, we're going to be going into an engagement. There should be glaive throwers in the back here. Well, I don't see the glaive throwers. No, glaive throwers are actually coming in from the side, and they're removing all of the moon wells. All right, no easy healing coming back at all. 54 supply compared to 30, and that might have been the necessary play as the glaive throwers take down that Ancient Protector once more. Ancient of Wars just completely walling things off, and in comes the glaive throwers again. Foggy going to be brought back into this fight here, and Stranik may end up losing his Tree of Ages down to the south. We're looking at this fight here, and a little bit of separation of army may be the difference. 52 supply compared to 46. The army of Stranik is still slightly larger. Meanwhile, down to the south here, the Tree of Ages suffering quite a bit of damage, could end up getting taken down, and I don't believe Stranik sees this. All right, a little bit too tunnel vision onto the north side here. More Ancient Protectors being built off to the north to try and protect here, as we're looking at healing spray to save all of these units once more. Well, the mining still going on. 42 supply compared to 43. The army of Stranik is still larger as the expansion to the south is now down. Priestess of the Moon trying to back away. Priestess of the Moon is down to 197 hit points as the units are still backing up further and further. All right, Foggy at 30 supply compared to 34. Where are the heroes going? The heroes are trying to retreat all the way back. Meanwhile, Foggy is healed back up, needs to rejoin in on the battle. There's the Scroll of Town Portal, and all this is doing is buying time as we're looking at the units trying to re-engage again. All right, Foggy brings over a Goblin Shredder to try and finish off the last of Stranik's units. Stranik's, where are they going to go? There is some healings onto the Goblin Shredder as we are looking at this battle. Battle still raging on here. All right, Goblin Shredder taking a lot of damage, still ends up getting taken down even with all the repairs as we're still looking at the units trying to retreat back. All right, Foggy's units actually retreating away from that own base right here. And this is still a strange game indeed. Units running away from the battle are actually the units that should be trying to defend the base here, as Foggy does sit at level 5. Acid Bomb here, Searing Arrows, and now units trying to retreat back once more. Foggy could end up losing the Priestess of the Moon down to 200 hit points and still dropping slowly but surely. All right, back down to the south. No more mining. This Ancient of War going to easily get... Well, it looks like it was about to get taken down here. Well, the glaive throwers are there. Double glaive throwers, perhaps trying to take out the moonwells would be important. Meanwhile, we are looking at a Stranik setting up additional Ancient Protectors, Ancient Protectors here down to the south to try and stop any additional mining. There's a Staff of Preservation. It's going to end up returning home. There's full Moonwell as damage is going to add up. Beautiful Goblin Zeppelin Micro coming in from Foggy here, as the Zeppelins here going to go ahead and pick up those glaive throwers. Tree of Eternity, 21 supply over 50 compared to Stranik's 30 over 20. What does Stranik have to say? 13 over 20 compared to 21 over 50. Lions, thanks for the follow so far, as the Ancient Protectors here are going to be near impossible to destroy without the glaive throwers from Foggy's Goblin Zeppelin. All right, in comes that damage, right? More Goblin Sappers. Foggy running over and through the tree line, going to find this, takes down 2 of the 3 Goblin Sappers in a moment's notice, as the Alchemist now looks to back up again. Meanwhile, back across here, a Priestess of the Moon should be ready to push and put on pressure. Still a lot of mining going on. The piercing damage from that Ancient Protector not that high, as we're going to look at an Acid Bomb onto a Wisp. That Wisp should end up just getting taken out here in just a moment. Damage over time, does add up. Meanwhile, a little bit of micro wars coming back through. Stranik down to 12 supply here. Foggy really out microing his opponent down to the last couple moments, using those Goblin Sappers extremely effectively, as we're looking at Stranik trying to shut down these Goblin Zeppelins as well. All right, a little bit of dodging back and forth. We're looking at Zeppelin micro play. A glaive thrower finishes off the Priestess of the Moon, and Foggy wins the war with just amazing micro. amazing micro in this battle between Foggy and Stranik. Stranik looked like he had the advantage throughout the match, but as the armies started to dwindle and get smaller, Foggy's superior micro really started to shine, getting more usefulness out of all of his units. On top of that, and making the correct responses and using Goblin Sappers extremely effectively to shut down a possible expansion attempt by Stranik in the south, and then destroying two of the three ancient protectors that were attempting to take down the Tree of Eternity at the north, and that ultimately set him up for the perfect endgame. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.